There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
Welcome to this EPC emergency podcast edition of the Program Guys podcast. I am Mark Hall, joined with you today by Patrick. The three guys that are not with us could not be with us, but we have a very good reason for getting together. Five-star defensive tackle, Oklahoma native David Stone has just selected the Oklahoma Sooners over the Miami Hurricanes and the Michigan State, whatever they are. It doesn't matter. He didn't even look at that hat. All he did was play around with Miami and Oklahoma. Patrick, let's get some opening thoughts. What do you think about seeing David Stone finally select a team for his commitment?
It was a roller coaster ride for Oklahoma fans during this recruitment process. One night he was throwing up the U last week. We thought he was going to go to Michigan for a second. Oregon became an option randomly for like 3 or 4 days. But you, Mark, the whole time, I don't think you lost any faith.
I knew Stoney would be a Sooner. He's a 5-star, and we're going to have to play all the games with the 5 stars. That's just sort of what it's going to be. We saw with Williams Ranieri, a state legislature got involved in that one. Like it's only going to heat up from here. But David Stone spent too much time on campus. He's an Oklahoma guy. He was on campus for Jaden Jackson's official, his teammate at IMG, and he got him there. Followers know I dropped a crystal ball for David Stone some time ago at this point, weeks ago now. I have never wavered. Stoney's going to be a Sooner. Stoney will be a Sooner. He committed tonight. And this is really what we've been building towards. Don't you agree? Because there's a lot of talent all over the place in the recruiting class, but this feels like a crown jewel in some ways.
100%. How big do you think this is for the University of Oklahoma? Like how big?
We haven't had a defensive line, I guess a defensive tackle prospect, because PJ came last year and is going to be just a physical freak. But we haven't had a disruptive interior presence like what David Stone is going to hopefully bring since Gerald McCoy. I mean, this is uncharted territory for people like me who signed on to Oklahoma when you went to OU and haven't been privy to the Gerald McCoy life, right? This is a whole new universe for people like you and me, Pat, who have never seen Oklahoma be able to pull down. I mean, this is Alabama level player for us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't wait in 2 or 3 years when I'm watching him sack someone. And I'm like, oh my God, our defenses don't do that. But now they do.
Well, then I was speaking with friend of the pod, Ryan Heil, tonight, and he was like, who do you double team? David Stone or PJ Adebawore?
Yeah.
Suddenly that's the thing we're throwing at offenses. No longer is it we're going to scheme up something better. Like we can scheme and we also have dudes. Right.
And I mean, double team those guys all you want. Jaden Jackson's right there too.
Right there. And he weighs more than all of them. You're not going to single team him.
No, you can't.
No, this is exactly the kind of commitment that the last maybe 2 years of recruiting classes has built to, because we got PJ last year, but you needed the interior presence. This is that interior presence, I think.
Agreed. For me, honestly, I mean, the bucket's hat's on, so I got to throw out a hot take.
I was hoping we would get there. I saw the hat. I needed it.
Yeah. So Jackson Arnold was the first step to really building something special again at OU. SEC competing special. National championship competing special. David Stone is the icing on the cake and the cherry on top to round everyone else to get us there in 2026. And that's the hot take.
What's getting there? We got to zero down on
the national championship game. National championship game in 2026.
There we go. So we're saying class of 2024, David Stone's junior year. If we still have Jackson Arnold, he's a senior, still around, and we're in the Natty.
Yep.
That's what 100%. You build towards. That's what you build towards. It's why you bring David Stone in. You convince him. It's how you get him to campus.
There's no one who could look at our last 2 classes and say, like, that's not a possibility.
No, and going to 12, the way that the playoff is going to by the time we get to 26, all you really have to do is get in the dance. And then, man, if you let's say we don't win the SEC, so we're like the 7 seed, it doesn't matter because unless you guarantee seeds in a special way, we're going to be better than the Pac-12 champion, the ACC champion. Like, come at me if you disagree. I don't think anyone can possibly disagree. No. We just got David Stone. He will develop. The team will develop. The defense will develop. Ooh, it's gonna look good, man.
I would like to hear personally from the Todd Bates haters. Where are they today? Where are they going to be this week? I want to know.
When these recruitments have gone the way they've gone, and as we've been on top of, the Missouri state legislation was put in place to make sure they kept Williams Nwaneri, and now he's wearing OU gear in Missouri. It's one thing to wear it in Tulsa. This is a different thing. And they pull down David Stone, Nigel Smith on the way, Dominic McKinley possibly on the way. Look, I don't know what you can ask for that is more than we got a 5-star defensive tackle, his 4-star teammate, and there's still guys in the works.
Couldn't ask for more. I mean, you really couldn't. This is exactly where we should be.
It's exactly where we should be. It's exactly, I think we were probably premature last season.
Yeah.
But the way it's moving now, I think is everything we expected Brent Venables and the Clemson cohort to bring to Oklahoma moving into the SEC. You can recruit on a different level, and you have the guys who have recruited on that level before.
Agreed.
I don't think there's a ton more to get into, except that, hey, you get David Stone, maybe it does grease the wheels on Nigel Smith. It does maybe grease the wheels on Dominic McKinley. And everyone's favorite dream is Williams Nwaneri getting to December and signing with Oklahoma. This doesn't hurt that. So I guess my last question for you, Patrick, would just be, could it get better?
Yeah.
It seems like it could.
And I know Todd Bates is still texting Williams Nwaneri. I'm not out on it. I'm just not out on it.
Every day. Miguel Chavis with his, so you're telling me there's a chance tweets.
Right.
They're not giving up. These are young guys, and they are relentless. And if the Peyton Bowen recruitment last year taught us anything, it's that they're in until the papers are signed and faxed. A fax machine will not stop them.
Nope.
I guess that's all we got, man. Not much to get into. We got our guy, 5-star defensive tackle David Stone. Not signs. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Commits to the Oklahoma Sooners tonight at halftime of his game. This is what we've all been waiting for. We're so happy you've joined us tonight in this EPC episode of the Program Guys podcast. Please follow us everywhere you possibly can. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, wherever it is, hit that follow button, hit the subscribe. Go hit our socials on Twitter at Program Guys. Instagram's the same. Everything's basically the same at Program Guys with a Z. Hit us up on our website, programguys.com. We're dropping all kinds of content there, stuff you're not going to get anywhere else from us. It's available there. I think that's all the plugs I got. Patrick, any final words?
All of that's for free.
All of that's for free. We're not going to.
There's not one guy, one
Patrick, take us
person
out.
in the
Keep pushing
history
it,
of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.